Good evening. At least it's evening here, and my name is Dan Letha. For those of you that might not know, I'm a cartoonist, illustrator for the ministry Reasons for Hope, and today is November 1st, 2020, and I wanted to have a little live broadcast to celebrate 1 year of working with Reasons for Hope. So I put together a few slides, a few pictures that I wanted to kind of walk through and recount some things over the past year, and just kind of relive some things and give thanks to the Lord for His provision and His faithfulness over this past year. It was in 2019. It was October 11th that I lost my job with Answers in Genesis. It was done away with. They restructured, and so I was without a job. And 3 weeks later, the Lord provided, and Carl Kirby with Reasons for Hope, and some other people put some things together, and I was hired by Reasons for Hope. And so let me go over to some slides here I want to share with you. And there we go. That's the better slide view. And so this is just a little past a year ago. I wasn't hired yet. Casting Crowns had come to the Cincinnati area to do a concert. Carl Kirby is personal friends with the band members for Casting Crowns, and so he invited my wife and I to go to a concert, and so we did. And I was hurting at that time, and their concert was kind of like a healing balm, if you want to put it that way. Just a much needed presence in my life. The songs that they sang just hit me like a laser, and it was great meeting. I mean, just for a few seconds, I got to, have we had our picture taken with the group and some of the other groups that were opening with them that night. And it was a wonderful, wonderful time of being ministered to. I just sat listening to the concert, just tears coming down my eyes. It was so good. And so the Lord provided that little comfort along the way. And I've gotten the album Only Jesus from Casting Crowns since, and I've listened to it so many times this past year, just soaking in that song. I spent almost 23 years with Answers in Genesis, and my name is out there, and they have the song Only Jesus. It talks about you making a name for yourself, and that's not the important thing. The important thing is that you proclaim Christ, and that people don't necessarily remember you, they remember Jesus. And so that really, really hit me between the eyes, and I will always forever be thankful for that concert. So that was a good way to start into my new position with Reasons for Hope. And I actually posted this picture here online, and I was throwing some clues to people. The news wasn't out yet that I had been hired as of November 1st last year for Reasons for Hope. And Carl wanted to make the announcement on November 17th. So we kind of had to wait for a while. So I was playing around with it a little bit, and I wanted to give people little hints. So there was some things in this picture that they were supposed to be able to see. And I put the verse, 1 Peter 3:15 up on the screen there. And that's where Reasons for Hope gets the ministry name, from 1 Peter 3:15. So that was a lot of fun. And then shortly after I was hired, there was an event up in Cincinnati that we went to, and Carl and his wife Masami had received some really hard news that there was the possibility that Carl's wife Masami, who is on the right in this picture, Candace, Carl's assistant, and she's like the glue that holds his whole ministry together. She's the one on the left. They're dear friends too. It's very heartwarming to see these two families so close. But anyway, they received the news that Masami might have pancreatic cancer, And so it was a real sobering time for the Kirby family, and God was whittling on them and drawing them close and challenging them in new ways. And Carl has a lot of sensitivities now that are even more sensitive than he was before. So the good news is that that wasn't the case. Masami had some surgery, but she didn't have pancreatic cancer. So we're very, very thankful for that. Anyway, that picture right there just reminds me of that time and that ministry that I saw up in Cincinnati. So I got to go along and be with them on one of the events. And again, I'm just a rookie, just tagging along, seeing how things go. And then here's my new work situation. Instead of being in an office or in a cubicle, I am so thankful to be at home in a we've converted our dining room into and this is what I'm sitting in right now, into my new art studio. And it's changed a little bit since those early days, but this is basically what I'm working in. And this picture right here, I'm working on something I'll tell you about in a little bit. But so that's my hand drawing. And then when I do stuff on the computer, I sit at a Wacom Cintiq, which you'll see that picture too. And then shortly after I was hired, newly on board, we all took a trip to the Creation Museum. So back to my old stomping grounds. And we were thankful. I'm thankful that Answers in Genesis and the Creation Museum allowed us to come in with the bus and do some promo pictures. And that was very gracious of them to allow us to do that. And so it was a little strange being back there. And it took me quite a while to not say us when I'm referring to Answers in Genesis, because I've been that way for so long. But being that that's not the case anymore, we're still part of the same team, right? We're still part of the body of Christ, proclaiming Christ to other Christians. And so even though I'm not employed by Answers in Genesis anymore, we are part of the same team. So go team. And then on November 17th, that rolled around, and there was a special event at Carl's Church, Big Bone Baptist, in I think it's Union, Kentucky. And so they had an event, and they announced that I was part of the ministry now, and that was a lot of fun. There was a singing group there, and there's Juan Valdez with Carl Kirby there at the church, and it was great meeting the team and being officially announced as part of the team. And so there we are with the bus, and this is our new little family. It's so interesting going from, well, I was once part of a smaller ministry when AIG started, and then that little family grew and grew and grew and grew, and then exploded. And so now I'm back to a little family again, and it's nice being part of a smaller family, and everybody knows everybody else, and it's really nice. So I'm very thankful for that. And this is a little behind the scenes look at some of the live updates that Carl Kirby gives for Reasons for Hope. He and Candace are sitting there at the table that, if you've seen the videos, this is what his studio looks like. Well, it's been updated a little bit, but this is what his studio looks like. And so they're giving an update there. And then if you swing the camera to the right just a little bit, there's Candace's husband, Lee. On this particular day, he's manning the camera for the live update. And other days, Masami, Carl's wife, is the one that's in back of the camera that you don't see. And so there's always someone back there manning the technology as Carl and Candace, or Carl and whoever. Usually it's Carl and Candace. The two faces of the update for the ministry do their thing. And then shortly after I started with Reasons for Hope, Carl wanted me to start a new cartoon feature. And so, I had my 3 cartoon features for Answers in Genesis, and so a new ministry, new feature. And so we came up with the title Truth Jabs. So this is the most recent copy of a cartoon that I did for Truth Jabs. This is more of an editorial cartoon. It's based on current events, things that are going on in the news. And I want to really give a biblical spin, biblical perspective, a loving, jab, as it were. Hope to influence people and their thinking on these things that they're seeing in the news. We live in very interesting times, but God is still good, and His word is not only just still relevant, it is as relevant as it ever has been. So I want people to really examine these issues through a biblical lens. And then one of the other things that happened, some of these slides are chronological, some of them are not, but so I was hired in November. Then in March of 2020, of course, we all know that COVID hit and things kind of went crazy. And a lot of ministries, the speaking events were all canceled. And so what happened for us was the same thing. And then, like a lot of other places, we started doing video content. And so it was interesting that in the months prior to even my leaving AIG, I had been collecting all kinds of equipment for doing videos online because I had planned on doing that sort of thing. My plans really changed when my job change happened, and but I was ready to start making videos. So when COVID hit and all the team members for Reasons for Hope started doing video content, I was ready to do that. And so I came up with a feature called Draw It and Know It. And the original idea was to do Bible verses and kind of draw them out and then reveal the truth of the verse as the drawing goes on. And so I did some of those. And Carl said that he really wanted me to do some more drawing instruction videos, how to draw type of thing, because there's lots of homeschoolers that we have access to through the conferences and that sort of thing. And he wanted to have a component of the ministry that would minister to them and something that they could be blessed by. And so I thought about it. And so I started drawing some instructional videos on how to draw animals. And I thought, this would be a really good opportunity to not only just show the kids how to draw the animals, but to look at those animals through a biblical lens too, because more often than not, you turn the TV on and you get an evolutionary point of view. And so drawing and learning go together. If you're drawing something and listening to something talk about this thing you're drawing, that knowledge sticks in your mind a little bit better than just listening to it or watching it. And so I wanted those two things to go together. And so Draw It and Know It became also an instructional creation type ministry aspect that we have too. So I've got quite a few of those videos online. I hope if you haven't seen them, you go to the Reasons for Hope Facebook page or our YouTube channel, and you can check out my Draw It and Know It videos. And I'm making, we've kind of backed off on some of the video content, the regularity that we were doing back in March and April, and it was crazy back then. But now I do one of those videos once every 2 weeks. And so that's an aspect of our ministry that I hope you'll check that out, and then share it with people that if they've got kids that love to draw, kids that you want to have an increased biblical perspective on a lot of the things that they're interested in. I'm hoping to do that with Draw It and Know It. So when I'm doing my videos, when I'm doing, this sort of thing, now I don't have a green screen in the back of me right now, but I did for a lot of the videos I did March and April and May. And so that's what it looks like when I have my green screen going. It's a little cramped in my small studio here. And it's quite the task and ordeal to set all this stuff up and get the lighting right. And green screens, if you've ever, messed with that sort of stuff, it's kind of finicky. You've got to get the shadows and the lighting and all that. I'm still learning how to do it. And not all of my videos were perfect, but not too bad for a rookie anyway. So that's just a fun glimpse at the hurdles and the hoops that you jump through when you do videos like this. And then the videos, like I said, the speaking events that we had for the next while anyway. I was supposed to go with Carl out to Illinois and speak at a homeschool conference, and then speak to some churches and some creation groups all in 1 week. So it was like this big thing. I was really looking forward to actually going out and doing some speaking. When I was with Answers in Genesis, I spoke every once in a blue moon, and most of the time I spoke at a Bible camp on my own time, vacation type stuff. And so I really wasn't an official speaker for that ministry, but Carl wanted me to be a speaker for Reasons for Hope. And so I was really looking forward to it, and then COVID hit, and that kind of fell apart. But I've done some speaking events on Zoom, so I've gotten to know that a little bit. And so here we are, thanking one of the homeschool conference that had us to be speakers, and I did quite a few talks, and then one live talk over Zoom. So we were grateful for that opportunity, and I was grateful for the experience too. Just another thing that I can improve my ability to do. And then this past summer, I was able to have a week-long drawing camp where I did give some instruction to some young students. And that was a lot of fun. For a whole week, I would get online, and for an hour and a half, I would show them how to draw things from the book of Genesis. And again, my burden and my desire is to teach and to get kids excited, not only about artwork. I love artwork, but let's take that artwork and let's do something really good and biblical with it. And so that's what I want to do with this with this drawing camp, and I hope to do more of those in the future. And then another opportunity that I had was back in January. A number of us flew out to California to talk about the debunked videos. If you've never seen the debunked videos, I would highly recommend that you check those out too, because they're a wonderful ministry tool. They're full of knowledge, and people in the church in particular need to have questions to or answers to questions that they have. And these videos are tailored to get people thinking and to grab the attention of youth and to keep the attention of youth for the short attention span that they have. And so Bub and Juan and Carl and I were here, and we were working on videos and ideas and kind of hammering some things out for the Debunked TV show. And here we are in our little B&B working some things out. This is in the studio. If you've ever seen the TV show, the Debunked TV show, this is where it all happens. And it was a privilege to sit in there and watch these guys work and just look at all the equipment and the studio and the professional quality of what they were doing and how they were working. It's fascinating. I got this video making rookie was a bit enamored with all the stuff that was going on during this time. This is Bob, and there's the Bub and Bob show is another thing that now I guess is part of our Reasons for Hope ministry. And so this is the behind the scenes guy running the control panels and directing. And so there he is. That's his view of the studio, and that's what he sees. So again, I got to see all that. And then we did some team building, going out and having fish tacos and having a lot of fun, just fellowshipping together. It was really, really good to get to know these guys. And then Carl and I went down to San Diego, and we went to a church, and he spoke. And it was really fun seeing some of my new slides for the ministry being used in Carl's talk, and him just so happy to have me on board. And so I'm hoping to create a lot more images and slides and things for the ministry. So pray for me in that regard. And then here's just another behind the scenes look at some videos that have been recorded in the past number of months as Reasons for Hope is really looking to get out there. And by the way, that's one of the debunked video thumbnails there. It's debunking that it's always wrong to judge, because that's something that you always hear people say, and that's not right. So check those videos out and find out what they are. During this time, I found myself, this is a picture from our home church, and I found myself taking pictures of lyrics of songs on the screen, because as much joy as there was in my new position, I was still dealing with loss and still hurting. And so there were quite a few songs that were really, really ministering to me over this past year. And I'm very, very thankful for song lyrics that just sink into your heart and sit there and minister to you. And that tune can last quite a while, and those words can do their work. And so again, this is just one example of one of the slides that I took over that year. And one of the things too that I'm thankful for now that I work from my home is that I get to spend more time with my family. I'm not gone to the office. I am working from home, and so I get to see my daughter and my wife on a daily basis. You have to ask them what they think about that. But anyway, it's turned out pretty well for me. My daughter and I get to go on walks more, and I'm more available to talk to her, and I love it. And it has been such a blessing to just be home and see so many things that I would not have seen otherwise. And so here's the picture of all four of us, me, the two girls, and the dog. So my wife, Marcia, our daughter, Hannah, and me. And we are here together as I work for this ministry here at home. And then recently, the Reasons for Hope Ministry had a bus tour from Florida up to Ohio. And it was a ministry tour. It was stopping at different churches and challenging people to witness and teaching people how to witness. And Bill Jack was a part of this ministry that they did. And I'm a fan of Bill Jack. I love his ministry and his messages. And so this is just one of the last events that they participated in. And things are kind of spread out, and you don't really see the crowd too much because of COVID. But it was a blessing to see just a little glimpse of what was happening in the bus tour. And wrong way. And then here's Bill Jack kind of following up right at the end of that time. The people had gone out and they were witnessing to people, and kind of they came back and were reporting at what the Lord had done during this little half hour or so of just being challenged to go out and witness to people as they were walking around town. And then this is the very end, and there's Candace taking a picture of the group. And what a fun group, full of personality and energy. And so Carl really has a burden and a passion for the next generation. He wants to build up soldiers for Christ, ministers that will go out there and do spiritual warfare and win souls for Christ. We need more of those. The next generation is so very important. And again, Carl in particular is very, very fired up about motivating and instructing and teaching that next generation. So please pray for Reasons for Hope. And then one of the other things too that I'm very thankful for is we were able to go up to see my in-laws up in North Dakota for a couple weeks. And so my position is a bit more flexible than I have been in the past. And so this was my workstation for the 2 weeks that I was there. So I was able to just kind of pick up and be portable and move up there and just not skip a beat. So I was very, very thankful for that flexibility too. And I'll close this time out by saying this. I started out by talking about a concert that Casting Crowns had come to town, and they had done this wonderful Only Jesus concert. And then not so long ago, we were visiting some friends at the Creation Museum. And I didn't know that our friends, the Photo Sisters, if you check them out, that's FOTO Sisters, were in town, and they were doing concerts at the Creation Museum. So one of those unexpected blessings that we got to go see the concert that the girls were doing that particular day. And, I was sitting there thinking, this is almost 1 year. It's almost been 1 year since I lost my position and then gained my new position at Reasons for Hope. And they had a song at the end of their concert. I loved all the songs that they sang in this concert, but one of the songs that they finished with was He Will Hold Me Fast. And that was also a song that meant a lot to me during my year of just dealing with change and getting used to things and all of that when you're juggling happiness and sadness and all of that sort of thing. And that's a very special song. And so that was like the bookend. There was the Casting Crowns concert, and then there was the Photo Sisters concert, the bookends to my very interesting year. And so I was able to share that with the girls, and I hope that that was meaningful to them as I kind of tearfully shared what had happened and what their concert then meant to me after my year. So starting year number 2, and I would ask that you would pray for us, pray for the ministry, that Reasons for Hope. I really want to see it grow, and I really want to become I hope I'm a valuable part of it, but I really want to become more valuable, and that the Lord would use my abilities to enrich and improve and do whatever he wants with that ministry. And so I'll close out by saying, referencing these 2 verses, Lamentations 3:22 and 23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. You know, the hymn, Great is thy faithfulness, comes from this passage. And I love that hymn. And God's faithfulness has been great. God's good all the time, in times of loss, in times of gain, in times of sorrow, in times of happiness. God is good all the time. And so I pray that you would help not only me, but those of us that go through different trials, that we would be clinging on to Christ and pointing others to him through whatever turmoils we're going through. And then this one, Philippians 4:6, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. So God has started a work in me, and I pray that he'll keep using me until my life here on this earth is over. And I am very, very thankful that I've been able to be in ministry and use my artwork for ministry purposes. And I've had little glimpses of the blessings that other people have had, the input that they've given me on how my artwork has reached all over the world, and the different aspects of what it has meant to different people. And so I just pray that you would pray that that it would continue, and that I'll become more Christ-like each day, and that I'll be able to focus on others, not making a name for myself, but proclaiming only Jesus. I want them to remember him and not me. All right, so celebrating 1 year. Thank you, Lord, for this 1 year. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you'll do in the upcoming days. So thanks for watching, and please keep us in prayer. Look for truth jabs and draw it and know it, and debunked. Getdebunked.org is the website you want to go to. And Reasons for Hope, r4h.com. And check out the Photo Sisters on their website too, and look at their music, and you'll be ministered to and blessed. So, all right. Thanks for watching.